That is the sound of a hefty Red Bull.
Who's at the door? Who's at the door?
Don't know, who is at the door?
Someone better answer it. Justin's house.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Junctions and Stuff. This one we've entitled The Detail Seekers. But for those of you that have not been with us before, as in you didn't tune into episode 1, then why not?
How dare you?
Yeah, rewind, listen to that at your leisure. But this is the new podcast. It's a 4-episode little pilot series from myself, Adam, from RailStuff.com, and
Richard from New Junction.
And we are sat in New Junction. We are, well, we're not like
next to.
Yeah, next to. We're not, that's what, we should have done it from inside the layout. I don't know why, it just would have been cool.
Well, I'd rather be sat where you're sat on my nice chairs, but
we agreed that we were going to swap, and then I didn't. So I've still got the comfy chair. But maybe we'll swap for episode 3. Anyway, this one we've called The Detail Seekers because we want to talk about the pursuit of detail in model railways. And that's probably a very appropriate time to say thank you to our sponsors of this series, Accurascale.
Which is handy.
Yeah,
because they chase the detail.
Have we brought out the marketing book now? Have we?
Sorry, I'm off the clock.
You are, but I'm sure Accurascale and other brands will get mentioned a bit in this episode, because the question that we're posing here is the pursuit of detail detracting from the fun?
No.
Okay, thank you for joining us for episode 2.
It's been a pleasure. We'll see you next time.
So you think no?
No, I was quite surprised when you brought this up. I thought it was actually quite an interesting question, actually, because the way it's set, or the way it's said, you'd think people aren't having fun because they're chasing detail, but surely that is the fun.
All right, let me rephrase it slightly. Can the pursuit of detail detract from the fun?
No.
Okay.
We've done that one.
Have you come across rivet counters?
Yes.
And surely, are they having fun doing that?
I think, yes. Oddly, in their own way. Absolutely.
This could be a very short episode.
Yeah.
At this rate. Do you see what I'm getting at in any way, though?
Yes, absolutely. I think, all joking aside, absolutely, I would say chasing the detail, because I'm biased to this.
Yeah.
But I think that's what we're doing. We're forever improving our skill set, which is the path and the journey we go on with model railway creation, whether it be with a track mat or track on the floor to track on a baseboard. We're always improving with new methods, new techniques and new products.
Mm.
And does it detract from the fun? Not so much in my opinion, but we're here to discuss.
Do you think it can create frustration, though?
It does for me when I can't do it.
What exactly? And if you weren't chasing that detail, maybe you'd just be having fun rather than getting frustrated. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
You are. It's kind of working, but no, it's. I mean, it's an odd one. That's a good question. It is a good question.
I think there are, this is my personal opinion, I think there are times when that pursuit of detail can detract from the fun a little bit. Because when people get focused on tiny little details that maybe in the grand scheme of things don't matter all that much, then it can lead to people getting frustrated about the wrong things, in my opinion. Is it really a problem that there's a rivet missing? And I know that's a that's a silly example, and it's the kind of go-to example. Oh, it's the rivet counters, whatever. But it makes a point of what I'm trying to say is that, does it really matter in the grand scheme of things? No, but should you be getting your knickers in a twist over it? Probably not. Just go enjoy the model for what it is. Go enjoy what you're doing with it. But then at the same time, some people, like you say, will get their enjoyment from things being as prototypical as possible. So
now, are you talking about scenery per se or models? Because I would say they're very different kettles of fish. Because let's say with a model that you're paying money for, in theory you should get the best you physically can possible.
Yes.
Whereas scenic work, it's down to your own interpretation.
Yes. Okay, so
that got you.
It did, but and look, I'm probably walking into areas that I'm not particularly an expert in, so I may reveal myself as a fraud here if I'm not careful. But I've heard people say that TT is a more realistic scale because of I don't know why, but I've heard people say that.
It's true scale, so it's a direct reduction of the real thing.
Right. So in which case, should you not just abandon 00 and just go TT then, because it's a truer scale, or develop another truer scale if we're really chasing the detail and the realism?
Oh, you see. Now, in theory, yes.
Right.
If we're really... But then that's where, I suppose, your P4 and your EM modelers would come in, because they're the real detail fanatics, which just blows my mind, because some of the layouts you can see, they take forever, but they're absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
It's something I couldn't do, but then in the same breath, I'm not disappointed by the fact I can't do that.
I guess as well, the other way of phrasing this question, I will come back to your question about whether it's models or scenery, because it's an interesting point. But I guess another way of phrasing this is the pursuit of realism. And there is a difference between detail and realism, because something can be incredibly detailed, but not necessarily realistic. I've seen, take a steampunk layout, for example. It's not realistic, but it can be incredibly detailed. I don't know what I'm trying to say with that point, but
that's a good start.
But
I know what you mean. You've turned this question into a very deep question, which is good because we've got some time to talk about it.
Sometimes I see people just so laser focused on detail and realism that they seem to be forgetting to have fun with their model railway. I think that's where my question has come from.
Good question. I don't know what to say. You've stumped me. It is a good question, and you are right. There are people who. Are you talking mainly about people who then go on to criticise the Rule 1 fandom?
Yeah, probably. And look, I have my own opinions on Rule 1.
It's a can of worms, and he's been wanting to open it, and here we are.
What's the the sound of me opening that can?
So on our notes, we have Rule 1 Plus.
We have Rule 1 Plus. So
brace yourselves.
I don't just believe in Rule 1. I believe in what I call Rule 1 Plus, which is, it's not just about the stock that you put on your layout. It's everything. We talked in, I think it was in the last episode, or it might have been whilst we were having chips. I can't remember, but about the layout in a beer barrel.
Yes,
that's imagination running wild, and that's great. And do you know what? I couldn't care less if he were running any kind of loco on it, because it wasn't about that. It was about the imagination and the creativity, and just go for it. And it's like, I want to I want to build a layout which is about a station that is no longer there. So I would love to build a layout about Cheadle Station in Staffordshire, because that's where RailStuff is based, in Cheadle. And that station closed sort of post-beaching. It went on a little bit longer than that. It stayed running as a end of the line sort of freight loading area for the sand quarries in the area. But I would love to imagine what Cheadle Station would be like at the end of its branch line now. With a couple of Class 158 East Midlands trains running in there. And probably knock down the station building and build have a sort of little shelter style on a basic platform, keep some of the original features of the station, but basically reimagine what that station would be like if it still existed today.
Well, isn't that chasing realism though? But theoretical realism.
Okay. Surely, and I'm not calling you a moron, but surely that's an oxymoron. Theoretical detail. Surely that can't be detail is detail. Realism is realism. I might be tripping myself up here, but
it's all coming undone.
If it's theoretical, then it's imagination, surely.
Well, surely all model railways are down to imagination.
Exactly. So why do we then chase the detail and the realism so much?
Well, I suppose it's what people want to recreate. Like, you want to recreate Cheadle as it is today. So in theory, take just to sort of not correct you there, but to create Cheadle if it still existed today. Yeah.
Because the station doesn't exist. It's a housing estate now.
So you just need a lot of house kits.
Can you make me some with your laser cutter, please? Actually, put that on the list. We need some houses.
That is a good one,
yeah.
Nice plug. That's what you did there. This week we have a new kit available. But yeah, if you were to model the station, if it was still going in modern times, with modern features and modern rolling stock, you're chasing the detail. Even though it does then fit in Rule 1, because it's not real. Yeah,
it's also Rule 1 Plus, because it's not just about running whatever I want on it. It's actually about recreating the whole station. It's about recreating everything around it. It's telling a whole new story. And, I know I bang on about that phrase of telling a story, but, it's what I believe. That And you should be able to do whatever you want with a layout. And some of the best layouts I've seen are the ones that are just people saying to, I'm going to do what I want. I had to try so hard not to swear then.
It's one of the rules.
I did well, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah.
I felt that.
We just lost some listeners, though, by admitting that we're trying not to swear. I'm sure there's some people out there that just find that offensive in itself.
But YouTube thanks me.
Yeah, indeed.
Family-friendly show.
Yeah. I don't care. It's the Spotify side for me. So it's probably more edgy on Spotify, so that'd be good. Anyway, I've gone off tangent a little bit again. But Rule 1 Plus for me is just about the locos and the rolling stock. It's about everything. Do it however you want. Do you know what? If you want to model the Peak District with some palm trees in it, go for it.
Absolutely. I mean, there probably are palm trees somewhere.
Possibly. There's one random palm tree in Stoke-on-Trent. And it's in the front garden of a house just round the corner from the maternity unit at the hospital. Ask me how I know.
I think that we can put the story together.
Yeah. But we used to drive past it every single time we were going there and go, palm tree in Stoke.
Someone didn't want to let the holiday go.
No.
I just wanted a postcard, not the tree.
Anything to declare, sir? Yes, palm tree. Okay. But yeah, so Rule 1 Plus for me is a goer. But let me just make one point on that. I don't think the Rule 1 camp and the non-Rule 1 camp, should be at loggerheads. Because I love people that do chase the detail, and I love seeing what they've done and how realistic they've made it. But I also love people that have just let their imagination run wild. So I suppose what I'm saying is just do what you want.
See, in a way, everyone uses Rule 1, whether it be running rolling stock that you shouldn't on a railway that never saw it, or just purely because we're trying to cram in so much detail in such a small space. To scale, you wouldn't get that in reality.
No. And
the layouts that have a station, a depot, and a road crossing and factories and all this, but all in sort of 4 foot as a depot, an end-to-end type layout.
Yeah.
Rule 1, which is fantastic.
A roundy. However big it is, even like New Junction next to us, it's not realistic.
Well, I mean, wow. If you're going to insult me, you might as well do it in front of people.
But
it's taken years to get to this.
Where in the world is it roundy like that?
True.
Actually, I did find one. I found one. Because it's weird. You look at it from a map, and it actually looks like a roundy layout. And yes, I know a lot of people call them tail chasers, but I prefer roundy because
I like roundy.
I'm a child at heart. So it's actually near the British Motor Museum at Gaydon, which is how I've seen it on a map, because I do the Great British Model Railway Show at Gaydon every year, and when I'm looking for hotels that are cheaper than normal, then I'm scouring maps. There's a ammunition storage site not far away from there. It's actually the largest ammunition storage depot in Europe, I think, and that's not a big global secret.
I was going to say, because wow, we're getting some listeners tonight.
Mr. V Putin from Russia has just gone Gaydon, because he listens to Model Railway podcasts on his flights to and from Trump, obviously. But So when you look at the map there, near this ammunition storage site, there is literally a roundy railway with some sidings off of it. And if there was something more interesting on the roundy bit, I'd say it would be quite interesting to model. But it's literally just track in a field.
It does sound like you've tried to book a hotel and then gone awry with your searching pretty quickly.
I have a thing about Google
squirrel.
Maps. I love just a random search and a random wander around Google Maps.
Do you ever do it on Google Earth?
No, I didn't even realise that's a different thing. Is it a different thing?
Yeah, Google Earth is different to Google Maps.
I just thought Google Earth was Google Maps, but zoomed out further.
No, that's something we've got to research in the intermission of this.
we may invent an intermission just so that we can find. I thought it used to be called Google Earth and then it became Google Maps. I don't know. We're gonna have to find out now. But yeah, I love a little peruse around Google Maps. I'll tell you what, people might be able to help me out with something. Actually, is that okay for me to ask for some help?
Of course. Well, it's about time is what some people are probably saying, but
I need help. So I want track maps of the old Cheadle station, and I've found some. And there's that is it National Library of Scotland or the National Archive of Scotland that seems to have lots and lots and lots of historic maps and old Ordnance Survey maps, and they've been fairly useful. But I'd love some more detail, and there's not a huge amount of really good photographs of Cheadle Station.
So now is this your attempt at circling all the way back, and now you're chasing detail rather than the one? You've sort of come full house.
Yes, and you've just made me sound like an idiot. Thanks for that. But like I said, there's nothing wrong with chasing the detail, surely.
No, not at all.
I don't know. I just posed the question. That's all.
It's a good question.
It is a good question. And I stumped you right at the beginning, so.
You did. It still does to a point, because surely we all chase our reality of realism. Wow, that makes me sound like I know what I'm talking about.
No, it doesn't. Our reality of realism. Yeah. Okay.
Well, if you're, say, new to this and you, say, have a Hornby track map,
Yeah.
and you put your loop of track on
Yep.
with your 040 and 3 wagons, to you at that point, that's very realistic.
Yes.
So in theory, that's just your interpretation of realism, and you accept it because it's...
So is it actually more about our interpretation of realism then? I can see what you're saying.
This is getting deep.
Yes.
Blimey. And just think as well, while people are listening, hopefully listening, a lot of them will be actually modelling while listening,
Yes.
chasing that realism.
They will.
So, I mean, well done to you.
Yeah, well done to you. And of course, whilst you're doing that, you can find realistic bits at rail-stuff.com. Well, hey, had to get it in there somewhere, right? Okay, so you like to chase a bit of realism.
It's my interpretation of realism. You wouldn't get a Thirsk station next to Hadley Wood tunnels, for example, because they're several hundred miles apart. But in the purpose of a model railway...
But so, like, for your station, you're basing it on a real station rather than just making something up.
Yeah. I don't feel capable of making something ground up which looks realistic.
Ah.
So I'm taking the nice bits from the East Coast and putting it into New Junction, which is as close as I'm going to get to realistic looking.
And maybe therein lies another question of actually sometimes is the pursuit of realism important because it gives us a template, it gives us something to work from, it gives us resources.
Absolutely. I mean, I can speak for myself. When I copy reality, real life, and try and put it in model form, I feel more satisfied because I know it's come from a real place.
Right. And therefore you are actually getting more fun from the pursuit of detail.
Yes.
In that instance.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there are people out there, incredible modelers out there who will just want to recreate a scene and they can just pluck it from their minds and it'll be completely fictitious but look as though it's come from a real place. And that's the next level of... But I mean, that's real. That's art.
Yeah.
In any other name. By any other name.
Yeah.
Really.
And we get to see some phenomenal examples of that in this hobby. Some of the layouts that you see at shows. Do you have a favourite layout that you can think of off the top of your head?
Oh, you see, it chops and changes a lot. I wouldn't say I like XYZ layout because it's from the 1980s and this location. I can appreciate lots of layouts. I mean, in the previous role with Hornby magazine, I used to have to go and photograph lots of layouts, which are all different eras, different time scales, etc. But no, you can appreciate what I would say are good layouts.
So you don't have a particular favourite at the moment?
No.
Okay. Neither do I. Although there are certain ones that stand out, but maybe that's not for their realism. Like Copenhagen Fields. I think
nuts.
I think it's the sheer scale of that blows you away, right? I'm not saying it's not realistic and not detailed, but that's not what you love it for. You love it for the scale and the sheer size of it. But I love things that are imaginative as well. So I spoke about this recently and I couldn't remember the name of it, and then I saw it again and then forgot the name again. It was at the Greatest Gathering. I don't know if you saw it. There was an end-to-end layout. And just for obviously those of you that are listening, I've even held my hands out in a, this is one end, this is the other end, in case you didn't know what end-to-end was.
I mean, I can appreciate that.
Yeah. But running along it, it was like it was a test track, a British Rail test track, and it had like an APT running on it and the the original APT test train as well. It had.
Was it the sort of Network Rail depot-y?
Yeah, but it was older than that, so it would have been a British Rail thing rather than Network Rail. But it would have had some banana trains on it. It even had like a maglev test pod thing on the front of it. Oh, I can never remember the name of it, but I've seen it several times before, and it is a lovely layout.
People screaming the name at us now.
Yeah, you haven't. I might have to look it up in a minute. We might have to take that intermission after all. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, the Google Earth and Google Maps. That's right. I'll find out the name of that layout because it's lovely, and there is a level of realism and detail in there for sure, but also there is a level of imagination in there, and it's brilliant. I love it.
So one of my favourite layouts, which I've seen previously, was actually done by Laurie Calvert, who was the man behind Steampunk for Hornby all those years ago.
Yeah,
but he did. I think he did several actually in the end, but he did a layout based on the Thunderbirds world. So he did the monorail, and had all the Thunderbirds craft. And I'm a big Thunderbirds fan.
Oh yeah,
and I just love...
Favourite Thunderbird?
Oh, that is a podcast on its own. Deary me.
2.
You see, 2's the only one who actually did anything.
Yeah, it's got to be 2.
Because Thunderbird 1 got there and then reported on what they originally called for, so that's a waste of time because the caller could have told them that.
Also, 2 looks like me when I'm lying down in bed.
Well,
like that big belly shape over the top.
We won't ask what Thunderbird 4 is, but
I'm more a 1 than a 4.
Thunderbird 3 was just overkill to get to the space station.
Yep.
And, Thunderbird 4 is in Thunderbird 2, and Thunderbird 5 is the space station. So Thunderbird 2 is the only one that actually did anything.
Where were we before that?
So Thunderbird layout.
Yeah.
I love Thunderbird's craft. I did decide, actually, so with the original New Junction, as an answer to people who were picky, shall we say, or rivety, I used to have some dinosaurs on my layout, and they used to be in the woods at the back, and you'd just see like a Triceratops sticking its head out. And I've decided for this layout, my silly addition will be Thunderbird 1.
Oh, really?
Poking out. And it's actually just next to us. It's just there, being built.
Oh, so it is.
As Adam stretches over to see it. But
yeah, but without clashing into my microphone at the same time.
So I'm going to have that on the layout, and it's just going to have this nose cone sticking out some trees or something. Because I love it, because it winds the people who get wound up. And it's so innocent.
Have you ever seen... So if we go rule 1 plus, full craziness, full imagination, but unbelievable to see at a show. Have you ever seen the Museum of Transport?
Oh, that's the layout that would have my kids absorbed for hours.
Yeah.
That's the layout you pay for.
Yep.
Interestingly as well, actually, with all the realistic layouts, when that layout's at shows, that more often than not does very well at the awards.
Yeah. And it's done hundreds of shows. It's got yeah.
I mean, for those who've never seen it, it is a super crammed. I mean, how do you describe it? It's almost like a railway museum.
It's a museum of transport.
But nuts. Everything moves. Everything's lit up. And
there's fairgrounds, there's trams, there's trains, there's planes, there's buses. There's everything. The fairground is awesome in the middle of it, and it's got the lights and the music, and it's just really so much fun. But wherever you look, there's something going on. I first saw it at Carnforth Station many years ago. So I was there with RailStuff, so it can't be that many years ago, within the last 4 years. But yeah,
with who? Sorry, just get that in again.
With RailStuff, rail-stuff.com.
All right, yeah.
Thank you.
Just checking.
Yeah. Sorry, I really should have turned notifications off on my laptop, but never mind. We'll get there.
Was that just an order coming in?
No, unfortunately not. No,
This works well.
It was a message saying, "Please, can you find his Crocs when you get home?"
From the boss.
Yeah. Oh, and there she goes again. Yeah, but yeah, I saw it at Carnforth, and then I saw it again at Getz the same year. I think it was at Getz, and then I've seen it a few other places just recently. It's fabulous.
Interestingly, it's always popular with new people to the hobby, or say people who aren't actually in the hobby, just visiting shows and things. It's always popular.
Yeah, which makes sense, and it's one of those things that when you've got a show that brings families in, it's great for them to see. It's one of those things that could convert people into modelers.
Oh, hopefully. And it's, I mean, from a manufacturer's point of view, it must be amazing because it's got every era and every class of loco in a 2x2 space.
And trams as well. And trams.
And boats, doesn't it?
I think it might do, yeah. By the way, I found the name of the layout.
Oh.
Welby Lane RTC.
Ah.
Shall I try saying that again without... I sound like I've been to the pub.
Yeah.
I promise you we didn't go to the pub after after the fish and chips. We absolutely didn't, because Richard would be asleep by now if we had it done.
Yeah. Lightweight.
Welby Lane RTC. See, I said it properly that time.
See, I completely missed that at the Greatest Gathering.
It's fabulous. It really is fabulous. I'll show you some pictures later.
And of the layout.
Hey! Late night podcast. It's almost 10 o'clock.
Blimey,
wow.
We're doing well.
We are, yeah. But that's yeah. I mean, so Welby Lane that I said was very imaginative. Sorry, is actually based on a real location after all. So it's a pursuit of detail, and it was great fun. So,
oops, your point's doing well.
Yeah. But look, it was a devil's advocate question, like I said. It wasn't, I don't think there is a right or wrong answer.
And I hope the listeners will get in touch and let us know their opinions on the question.
Yeah, if you're listening on Spotify, you can do that in the comments section. Unless you're driving. Don't do it if you're driving.
No, not if you're driving.
Obviously, if you're listening to this on YouTube, then you can do that in the normal way in the comments.
Yeah.
If you're listening on another method that doesn't have comments, then either head to New Junction on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or RailStuff on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and let us know your thoughts there.
Is the pursuit of detail detracting from the fun? That's the question we're asking.
Yeah, and I know there will be some strong opinions on this, so it would be good to hear that. I think one of the overriding thoughts that I have about this is that it's a choice, and do you know what? We're lucky to have that choice, because if you want, and maybe I'm thinking more specifically about models again here, but if you want something that is ultra detailed, ultra realistic, you can get it for the most part.
And then in the same breath, if you want something more basic and simple, you can get that as well.
Yeah. So there's a choice.
I know a couple of my colleagues would probably say chasing the detail is detracting from the fun, but that's mainly because they spend years on certain projects chasing the high fidelity detail.
What kind of effort goes into that?
Into manufacturing?
No, into actually researching the detail, designing the replication of the detail.
So, in a nutshell, it takes years of work. I mean, a project manager, particularly with a Curascale, has to not only research the project, and you have to go all the way back, and a lot of projects aren't well documented at all. You've got to get all the drawings you can, all the information you can, and basically compile a list of the history of a class of loco or a type of rolling stock. You've got to document all the changes, and then you've got to have the pressure of deciding which models to do or which locomotives to do, rolling stock to do, which changes are worth tooling. And of course, these are high pressured jobs as well, because your decisions affect the company's range. And if the public don't like them, the public don't buy them.
And the public tell you.
Absolutely. And you've also, in manufacturing, you've got to spend the money first up front. So, especially with things like tooling and buying stock, you're paying out years before you then see a result. So there's a lot of pressure there to not only get the details right, but also make sure what you decide off the back of those details is correct as well. So it's not a job I would want, even though it sounds quite fun.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It sounds horrendous, to be fair.
So send in your CVs now to...
No, I'm all right, thanks. No, it's... Yeah. I guess as well, does detail always mean more cost as well?
Not necessarily. Not in terms of model front.
Yeah, I suppose, but just to clarify, I'm not just asking that in regards to models. But yeah, from the model front, it doesn't always.
No, because I suppose manufacturing techniques improve all the time and become more efficient. So therefore, it doesn't really matter if you have the extra detail. You might as well have the extra detail on a model front. And interestingly enough as well, a lot of models these days are still hand-built because the most skilled model makers in the world are in the Far East.
Yeah.
And they hand make our models en masse.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And they ship them all the way around the world to come on New Junction and surrounded by mess.
Yeah, there is...
anticlimax.
There is one or two boxes in here, isn't there?
A handful.
Yeah, there's certainly a chasing of detail going on in this room. But yeah, I suppose I was asking that as well about Scenics, because in general, more detail, more realism means more money. And I guess I was looking at trees when I was thinking that.
But does it mean more money? Because in theory, the more experienced you become, the more skilled you become, you can do it yourself from odds and sods you find, as opposed to buying a product to plonk on your layout.
Well, we're about to find out on the £100 layout, aren't we? Because I've got £6.60 left to do scenery. So. Ouch. Yeah.
Someone peaked on the plywood.
No, I bought a pallet to build it on, remember? No, someone peaked on buying new loco, new rolling stock, new track, but...
everyone can relate to that.
Yeah. But they didn't set themselves out a challenge of... Yeah, never mind. £6.60 to do some scenery. I guess we're gonna find out, aren't we? Whether you can do a good job for that price. But like you look at trees, for example, and there are some companies out there that make staggeringly realistic trees, but they are staggeringly expensive per tree. Oh, sorry. When I say expensive, I just mean high price. I'm not talking about value. Value is a very different conversation.
See, I mean, the trees you're sort of referring to are all handmade again.
Yeah. So
in terms of value, you're actually getting...
Yeah.
If you can justify it, you're getting really good value there. But
absolutely.
Like you say, it's expensive.
Absolutely, yeah. And I used to work for some companies that made premium products, and there was always a conversation around perception of value. And one of the points that was made was there are two ways to create more value in a product. One, reduce the price, or two, increase what you get from the product. And it's true. So value is a different conversation entirely, but just looking at price wise, generally with a tree, the more detail, the more realistic, the more expensive it is.
And I suppose as well, if you're priced out of being able to afford these nice handmade products, that could be a form of chasing the detail, detracts from the hobby.
Detracts from the fun because you can't achieve what you want to because... Right, thank you. You've led us right...
We got there, dearie me. That was lucky.
Yeah, you did well there. Thank you for that.
I've got you back, don't worry.
Saved my bacon. Yeah. Now, that's a fair point because if you want the detail but you can't afford the detail, then chasing the detail is not much fun.
So you'd have to, in theory, learn how to model, which is where the community side comes in.
Yes.
And dare I say it, where some of the critique comes in, because that critique can help you progress and improve.
Yes.
And then, of course, you don't then need to buy products to plonk.
Yes. Wow. Have we just answered it?
We may have.
Well, I can't promise this happens with every single episode. Some of them we will answer a question, others we will just bat around which actually I think is what we did for about 38 minutes, and then in the last minute or so we've gone, oh okay, yeah, there we go, that's the answer. So given a choice, would you go for detail or let your imagination run wild?
Surely that's the same thing. That got him.
Have we just unanswered the question?
Have we gone round again?
I guess what I mean is, would you prefer to go crazy nuts, Rule 1 Plus, or go for ultra detail, ultra realistic, copying something that is real life? What would your preference be as a modeler right now?
Oh, well, you see, I like to sit in the middle. So I am chasing certain elements of, say, the East Coast Main Line in my scenery. However, I will never recreate the East Coast Main Line. So surely I'm a halfway house.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like a pendulum swinging between the two.
Yeah. And that's probably a good place to sit, actually, isn't it? Somewhere in the middle.
Well, it makes me happy. And that's my railway, my rules.
And isn't that it? It makes you happy. It makes you happy, so that's what you should do. Man, anyone who thinks anyone who thinks otherwise, they're not necessarily wrong, but it's
Are we saying they're unhappy?
Maybe. Sometimes it's jealousy, though, isn't it?
Oh, see, I think some people just like being like that.
Yeah.
Which in turn makes them happy.
So
a bunch of happy people, really.
So should we be saying that as long as they're happy, it's fine?
Yes.
Oh my God. This is not a podcast that we should have recorded at this time of night, because this has gone way too deep. But I've enjoyed batting it around. It's been it's been a good one. Shall I lighten the mood?
Please do. Is it that time already?
You know what's coming, right?
Is it really?
Yes.
The time we all switch off?
Yes, it is. What's coming, Richard?
The joke of the podcast. The joke of the show.
I can't find them. Where have they gone? Oh, no.
It's a good time to say no budget was spared in the production value of this podcast.
I'm gonna have to. Oh, there it is. It's in my search history.
He's about to read out anything.
Yep. Two drunks were stumbling home along a pair of railway tracks. The first drunk complains, "There's a hell of a lot of steps here." The second drunk replies, "I tell you what's worse, this handrail's a bit low down."
Deary me.
It was good, right?
This is why no one comes back.
Or in which case, nobody's listened to that terrible joke then.
Yeah, well.
So, yeah. Small mercies. Yeah, I might have to find some better ones for future episodes.
So next week, we're going to be talking about our Adam's jokes detracting from the fun of the hobby.
No, we're not. Do you want to know what's up on next week's show?
Absolutely. Episode 3 already. Blimey.
Episode 3 is entitled The Storytellers. And no, it's not a discussion about Roald Dahl and other... Why am I thinking of children's authors?
Famous authors. Well,
yes. They're telling stories.
As a parent.
Yeah. The discussion topic will be, what is the best way to create a story for your layout? So that's what we'll be talking about next time. So we will dive a little bit deeper into some of the inspiration behind New Junction and where people get their inspirations from, and all of that kind of stuff. But that's what we'll talk about next time. I suppose it's a really good time to once again thank our sponsors, Acura Scale.
Absolutely. Without them, the lights wouldn't be on.
No, they wouldn't. Quite literally, and thank you for listening to us as well, because you're taking a leap of faith in giving up your time, and well deserved relaxation time listening to us.
And hopefully this podcast hasn't detracted from the fun of the hobby.
Yeah, episode 4. Is this podcast detracting from the fun? Let's hope not. I've really enjoyed this conversation. It's tied me in knots sometimes, but
it was a harder question to answer than I anticipated when I first saw it.
Yeah, it sort of felt a little bit of a closed question at the beginning, like a yes or a no. But actually, it became more open the more we dug into it.
And as we said, we'd love to hear your opinions. So if you can comment below or get in touch, do.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all for listening. Thank you, Richard, for your hospitality in New Junction HQ once again. And we'll be back next week with episode 3.
Blimey.
Goodbye.
Bye.